girls. Buckle up. This is going to be a bumpy ride through the realms of the Poison Tea Party podcast. It's Kaylee, your favorite little witch. Joining me today, as they always do, my mother and Aunt Tracy.
Why are you going to make it sound
I guess
like
we'll
that?
be here.
I guess we're here.
Joining Kaylee.
Me as fuck. Since you had to join. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess since you're here.
We're coming at you heavily edited from my mom's basement somewhere in middle America. I feel like it's been a while since we last spoke. So, how was everyone's Halloween?
Let me just tell you, I was sick as fuck.
Yeah, she was.
I was so sick.
She almost died.
Yeah.
It was not cute.
Just kidding. But
Not a good time.
Not really.
It was bad.
I laid in bed and watched horror movies all night long.
I worked my ass off for every day.
Yep, I had work that day too.
I took kids trick-or-treating in the rain
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, you did.
while sick as fuck.
My son's old enough now where I'm like, just go and don't hurt anyone.
Nope.
Look both ways.
Don't let anyone hurt you.
My kids are pussies, so they need to be driven around by their mommy.
I hope all of you listening had a great holiday full of gore, blood, and death. I mean, candy and costumes.
I was going to say, we died. I did die. I think I died.
My handsome boyfriend is here tonight, Carter David. Say hello.
Hi.
He
What's up,
does-
Tracy?
What's up,
I missed
Carter?
you.
I missed you,
Yeah.
too. It's been a while.
It's already almost Thanksgiving. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Can you guys believe that?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm here
Yeah.
for it.
let's do it. It's the best
Well-
holiday there is.
It really is.
For real. I just
mean,
feel like this
after
year's
Halloween,
going like super fast. I hope you all locked your doors and saged your house and laid out those crystals because today we are going to be diving into the depths of hell.
Oh my
Again?
Oh,
You're all going to hell.
little boy, you going hell?
That's what I was hoping you guys would do.
Little boy, you're going to hell.
My top favorited song on Spotify. No, I'm just kidding. Before we do this, what poisons are we all indulging in today?
We're all indulging in the same except for your boyfriend.
For Carter David.
Carter, why can't you just
Mike's lemonade is so hard.
Yeah, we're all drinking Bud Light, and then Carter David over here is drinking a Mike's Harder lemonade.
Ooh, harder.
Harder.
So today's episode is a real fun one.
I like funsies.
Yeah. Throughout the history of entertainment, there's been countless stories and urban legends of hauntings, deaths, and much more related to cursed films.
Ooh.
Let's talk about some of the most notorious movie lore, and you'll have to decide for yourself if these movies are actually cursed.
Okay.
The first film we'll be talking about is none other than Rosemary's Baby.
Oh,
yes. I love
okay,
this one.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This iconic horror film was released on June 12th, 1968.
Carter, have you ever seen Rosemary's Baby?
No. He's
a
probably never
loser.
seen any of these.
Uncultured
Have you ever
swine.
seen Elf?
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Oh,
my
my
God,
God.
great.
We've
Yes.
talked about this
Will
on a previous
Ferrell.
podcast.
God.
All he does is...
I don't like scary movies.
We've already talked about this on a
They're
previous
too
podcast.
scary.
Its unique storyline had a significant impact on the horror genre for years to come, along with scaring audiences who attended the theaters. Now, if you don't know what Rosemary's Baby is all about, let's dive into it.
Tell us about it.
A newlywed couple moves into an apartment complex where odd things start to happen, leaving Rosemary confused and paranoid about her neighbors, whom she would later find out were devil worshippers.
But you forgot the most important thing. Rosemary is pregnant.
yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Rosemary
spoiler
is
alert.
pregnant.
You ruined
Listen,
it.
who doesn't
So-
know that?
I haven't even watched
Like,
the movie
it's
yet.
Rosemary's Baby.
Sorry.
So, this satanic cult would promise her husband a successful acting career if he gave Rosemary to Satan.
Ew. What
Well,
a D-bag. And he did it.
He did. Unfortunately for Rosemary, her baby wasn't a bundle of joy. He was Satan himself. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we have this background of Rosemary's Baby. I mean, yeah, the movie's like pretty fucked up. It's pretty like well written. I love it. Love the storyline.
Mia Farrow.
Yeah, but
Shout
it's
out.
awesome.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Great acting
So,
for that time.
oh yeah, we're gonna get
it's
into
a great
her.
movie for the time.
Yeah. What if I told you guys that Rosemary's Baby has some significant lore and it's actually way more creepy than you'd think?
Tell
I
me
want
about
to
it.
hear about it because I don't know.
Tell me about it.
A huge unsettling factor for audiences across America was the satanic symbolism throughout the film.
Yeah.
This would be the first instance of satanic panic. Yeah, we're going to get into
Grab
it.
your pitchforks.
Those people at that time were all like, we go to church every Sunday and
Yeah.
it's freaking to us.
So, satanic
alright.
and
Yeah.
also Rosemary's Baby was kind of like that first major film that was depicting Satanism in any type of way.
Right.
Which, if you know anything, real Satanism isn't
Anything
worshiping
like that?
Satan.
No.
But that's what they all thought. So, anyways, let's get into satanic panic. So, satanic panic didn't fully erupt until the 1980s in the United States, which involved more than 12,000 allegations of satanic ritual abuse.
Oh,
Jesus.
Lord. Super fun
So,
for the police.
for the police.
For the police.
I didn't put the facts in here, but there was a couple stories of it first started out with a daycare having allegations of sexually abusing the children, and it went for 7 years, and then they didn't find any evidence. So, if you never looked up this time period, I suggest that you guys do. I remember when I was about 14 years old, I watched an entire documentary made in the 80s about signs to look out for if you suspect your child is a part of a satanic cult.
Shit. That shit's so fun.
So funny.
It's so fun.
So much fun. Ask your grandpa about Kiss.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
God, for real. They thought
that shit was satanic.
Yeah, satanic.
Yeah.
Demonic.
Mm-hmm.
He was a
That
part
game.
of. He was a part of the Kiss Army.
What's it called? D&D?
Yeah.
They thought that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
You know what they also thought was? Mr. Ed.
Oh,
The
what?
show you guys used to watch. I was like, what?
We used to watch that at Great Grandma's house.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
They thought
They thought
some
Mr.
weird-
Ed
yeah.
was satanic.
Yeah.
Of course he
It was
was.
a talking horse possession.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. Yeah.
What? Okay.
Listen.
But this documentary was so fucking funny, and it covered interviews with people who were just goth, literally just dressed in black clothing, and their
Right.
parents would be giving them an intervention.
Have you ever seen Detroit Rock City? Do we talk about it?
Oh my
Ooh.
God. It's a good movie.
I don't think I've.
One of
This-
the greatest.
Detroit
Yeah.
Rock City kind of touches on that satanic
Yeah.
panic shit. And it's based in this kind of time.
Yeah. Anyways, satanic panic is a great thing to just laugh at now.
It's a great thing to laugh
yeah.
at.
Teehee.
Teehee. Anyways, this was a serious scare going around, but it can be traced back to the release of Rosemary's Baby, as there wasn't anything quite like it. I guess you can say the devil planted his seed a few decades before the panic.
Disgusting.
Oh my
Disgusting. I see what you did there.
Yeah, that was good.
So what's cursed about it?
All right. The producer of the film, William Castle, would receive so much hate mail from the film, and he eventually came down with severe kidney stones, which some say was because of the stress.
I was going to say, can that be stress induced?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, ew.
While he was in the hospital, he would hallucinate many scenes from the film, most notoriously known for shouting, "Rosemary, for God's sake, drop the knife,"
What?
Love him.
while he was laying in bed.
That man needs to just chill.
Yeah.
How about he just chill?
Just terrifying.
calm down. buddy. Calm down, friend.
You're being
Calm
too
down.
loud.
You're being too loud.
Chill out.
William would recover, but he would never make another Hollywood hit.
Really?
Nope.
Oh
He would
my
never
God.
get back into it.
He was like, that's enough.
That's enough. So,
Actually.
another big playing with the story, Sharon Tate fought hard for the role of Rosemary, but Paramount ultimately went with Mia Farrow. It's been said that Sharon was extremely upset by this decision and would often come to set kind of like a ghost in the background, slowly becoming more obsessed with the film. A friend quoted her saying, "The devil is beautiful. Most people think he's ugly. He's not." Rowan Polanski, whom we don't support on this channel, he expressed in a biography the last time he saw her in July 1969 while she was pregnant, he felt a grotesque thought. These are quotes from his biography. And was thinking, quote, "You will never see her again," end quote. Not sure why he thought this at the time and let her just go, but you know. So Sharon would be murdered on August 8th, 1969 by the infamous Manson family, which we've talked about them a few times, but we haven't done an episode, so. She would also be murdered along with her unborn son. The media would explode over this case for many reasons, but a few you might not be aware of was the connection to Rosemary's Baby. Some claim that Polanski sacrificed Sharon to the devil for success in Hollywood.
Which, hey, did he?
Yeah,
He did.
But did
he did it. Well, I guess we'll never know, but we know.
We definitely know.
This guy's name, bear with me, y'all. Krzysztof Komeda composed the score for the movie and would later end in the same fate as Rosemary's friend in the book. He would fall off a rocky ledge and end up in a 4-month coma, and he would die the following year.
Coincidence? I think not.
I think not.
What?
So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the guy that wrote the music
Yes.
died. Okay.
The
some
same
weird
way that a character in the book died.
Yeah, that's a
little
sus.
sus.
Fuck.
Okay. Ira Levin. The writer behind the famous novel would face many challenges from the release of the book to the movie. His marriage would crumble to pieces in 1968. And
His fault.
Yeah. Well, here, this is so funny. There's no details, but some speculate the Stepford Wives says it all, because he's the one who wrote that.
Stepford Wives?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he's a total fucking douchebag.
Yeah. Catholics hated him and gave him the rating.
Really?
That's surprising.
Catholics hated him?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Said who? What? The guy that wrote Stepford Wives, the Catholics hated him?
He's also the man who wrote Rosemary's Baby.
Well, I mean,
So,
that's why. But
yeah.
they were like, Stepford Wives came out, and they were like, yeah, that's right.
He redeemed himself.
And then fucking Rosemary's Baby came out, and they were like,
Dr.
no.
Satan! Dr.
Satan! So the Catholics gave him the rating of C. Condemned.
Condemned.
Oh.
I thought we were talking like
Are we
C.
talking like C in school?
No,
No.
she was talking C for condemned.
For condemned
C for
bitch.
F?
Yeah.
For fail?
For failure.
That's right. That's right.
Levin would slowly stop doing interviews and would just stop talking about his work completely. In one of his last interviews regarding Rosemary's Baby, he explained how he felt religious guilt over the success. He felt it played a huge role in the popularization of witchcraft and Satanism. Many people came out and talked about how they weren't sure if Levin ever knew he was a success, which is incredibly sad.
Yeah.
Levin would come out with a sequel, The Son of Rosemary, which I've never seen.
No.
I
And
didn't
didn't know that was
Yeah.
I did know that it
the son
existed, but I've never seen it.
I don't
Of
know.
Rosemary?
It might be a novel.
It's not a
actually.
movie?
I don't think it's a movie.
I don't think it's a
It
movie.
could be. Nope. Son of Rosemary is a 1997 horror novel by Ira Levin and the sequel to his 1967 novel Rosemary's Baby. It doesn't say anything about a movie.
And that book would become a bestseller.
Which makes sense because
Yeah.
it was a sequel and people were like, what happened next?
What's going on? He would later say in an interview, quote, "Of course I didn't send back any of the royalty checks." And that was kind of making fun of himself as a quote-unquote sellout and fraud. He would later pass away in 2007. So now we're going to talk about Mia Farrow.
Yes, please.
Mia Farrow experienced some tough times around the film as well, most notoriously her divorce from Frank Sinatra, who actually served her the papers while she was filming on set.
Yep.
Farrow took the role because she was told she would win an Oscar. She didn't, and many claimed it was her godly punishment.
Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
blah, blah.
It
But
was
she
just
got
Hollywood's...
she got mad critical acclaim for this film.
Well, it was just Hollywood's way of suppressing the fact that they are all Dr. Satan, Dr. Satan.
But
Exactly.
also in the world of Hollywood, this is like a I don't know.
It's a groundbreaking
It really is.
film.
And
Yeah. It was.
her taking it on as basically a nobody
Right.
at that point, which is kind of who they wanted to cast in the role anyway.
Right.
She really broke barriers doing it. And obviously, there's never been up to this point in time, there's never
No.
been a satanic movie. There's never been a fucking...
And horror wasn't a big genre yet. like it
But
didn't fully erupt until the 70s.
For them
and
to wrap this movie around a pregnancy was
Yes.
extremely controversial at the time.
Absolutely.
And she totally did it.
yeah,
Like,
with grace.
she did. She did it flawlessly. And I'm surprised she didn't win an award for
Mm-hmm.
it, but
It was
Well,
the satanic part of it.
That's what
cost her the
ultimately, yeah.
award.
But Farrow deserved that damn Oscar because let's just say what she did for her director was next level.
let's hear it.
At the time of filming, Farrow was a vegetarian, and the scenes where Rosemary eats raw chicken livers, yeah,
She did
she
it.
did it.
Ew.
She ate raw chicken livers for multiple takes.
They can pay you to do anything, though.
And
I mean, I could
Yeah.
get paid to do just about anything. Listen,
At least you're honest about it.
I ain't
Not
scared.
me. I can't be bought.
I definitely can. How much you gonna
Well,
give me?
also, Mia, this was like her, she was going into this like, this is my breakout role. So
Right.
she was gonna do what she was told.
Right. You can't be picky when you're
No.
new on the scene.
Unfortunately.
Right.
She would also like throw this.
Especially at this time, because it's like, what, 1968?
I feel like
69,
any
I
time.
think.
So being a woman in Hollywood,
Mhm.
you're conditioned to believe you're replaceable.
Absolutely.
And if you don't do what you're supposed to do or what you're asked to do or what you're told to do, you will be replaced.
Yeah.
And you can be replaced
Right.
easily.
right.
Because there's a million
There's a-
women
you're a
knocking on the
dime a
door.
dozen.
Yeah, exactly.
And every woman is beautiful.
exactly. I think still to this day it's
Yeah,
like that.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So poor Mia Farrow.
Yeah. But a lot of women in Hollywood have gone through that same shit.
Yeah, they
Which
have.
is
It's
bullshit.
It
A
is
lot
bullshit.
of women in general have gone through that.
Yep.
But
Just through
we
normal
are.
fucking careers. But, you know. So, another creepy thing is the film starts with a shot of the Dakota, which is a building in New York City. In the movie, Terry's death takes place extremely close to where John Lennon would later be killed in 1980. Many Beatles fans believed his death was because of the Rosemary's Baby curse.
Oh, because it was in the movie, so that's why
Some
he
sort
died
of prophecy.
And he died, like,
So-
John Lennon was, like, almost exactly where
Who was the
that
guy that killed him?
character.
What was his name? Chapman.
Yeah.
I read Catcher in the Rye, which was supposedly like why he killed Lennon.
Which
or-
that book fucking sucks. I'm
That
sorry.
book
Let me
sucks.
just say,
So bad.
Did
it's
you
so
read
bad.
that book? Have
So
you ever read that
terrible.
book?
they made us read it in school.
He's never read
which,
it.
fun fact, it's now a part of the banned books club.
Why?
I know.
What about that book needs to be banned? Nothing happens in it.
No.
It's literally a whole book of boring.
I'm just thinking of Butters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really have you ever read it, Carter? Catcher in the Rye?
I haven't read a book in like 10 years.
I read it because solely because of this, because I heard that guy killed John Lennon.
Yeah, because
of
you think like it's
Catcher in the
gonna
Rye.
be so crazy.
So I'm like, oh my god, something fucked up happens in that book. I gotta read it.
no.
What's it
I
called?
get to the Catcher in the Rye. I get to the very fucking last chapter and I'm like, it's about to go down. I'm so fucking pumped because the whole book has been so fucking boring already. And then I read the last chapter. I close the book.
And,
And
you were
I
very annoyed.
come to terms with the fact that I've just wasted literally like fucking couple days of my life reading this fucking book.
Let me just say the
Nothing
catcher.
happens. Don't read
No.
it.
The catcher
Nothing
in the,
happens.
I have a question.
The Catcher in the Rye is literally a very, very terrible like journal.
Exactly.
It's like when you go and you think you're
Exactly.
gonna read someone's juicy journal and you're like, well, this is fucking lame.
And this is the point of why banned books are even a thing. Why are we banning that book?
I think it's because it mentions prostitute.
Who fucking
Once.
cares? Why are
How
we
many
banning
books
any
have I
books?
read that have prostitutes in them that we're not banning? But this one we are.
I can't even get into this because I'll get way too crazy about
Okay,
it.
anyway.
So this concludes my research on the curse of Rosemary's Baby, and I didn't know a lot of these stories and connections. There's a lot to unpack with this film, and you might want to be careful when watching it. I remember the first time I saw this movie, and I turned it off because I was like 8 years old, and I was like, what the hell is happening?
Fucking pussy.
Have you
Yeah.
watched it since then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it's been a while. Like, I should watch it again.
You fucking
so
pansy.
should I.
I know. I was scared.
I'm disappointed in you,
I
Kaylee.
was scared.
We watched The Frogs.
Okay, that was like one of my favorites. I'd always be like, can we watch the frogs? The frogs?
All
That's
the
a
time.
good one.
All the time she would want to watch the frogs.
Because
I
it
like
was
that
such a
one.
good one. I loved all the frogs. And it was, everyone's
you know
like,
what one I used to like? Arachnophobia.
ooh,
That's also a
a
good
good
one.
one.
Yeah. I like
You know
that
what one I used to watch with my grandmother, audience? Big Ass Spider.
Remember this show?
You know what
remember
one-
that movie Rubber?
Yeah.
Where it has a
Yes.
killer
Oh my
tire?
God.
No.
Shut up.
I
It's
can't.
true. Carter, this tire rolls around and
And
kills,
kills
people.
people?
My mom goes, we gotta watch it. It's
She-
a fucking
Is it on
tire that
Netflix?
rolls around and kills people.
Is it on Netflix? Can we watch
Come
it?
on,
for
it's a
real?
No,
fucking
it's
tire.
probably-
I'm
Is it-
still gonna plug in Shrooms. You guys need to watch it.
Shrooms.
We
I need
gotta
to watch
watch it.
it.
I thought you were gonna bring it to me, but I guess
So-
I was wrong.
Do you
I
guys,
forgot.
That's a good one.
Shrooms.
Yeah. So, do you guys think that Rosemary's Baby is actually cursed?
No.
No. It probably
think-
is. No.
Yes.
I mean,
think
there's a
that-
lot of coincidental things.
yeah.
But there's some other movies that I know of that would qualify as cursed for me. I'm sure you'll touch on them.
way before Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
So, this next film was notoriously known as the scariest movie of all time.
Oh shit, let's hear it.
But in recent
I
studies,
don't believe you.
right? But in recent studies conducted by scientists, classic horror movies don't have the same scare factors on new generations that they once did 50 years ago.
Well, obviously.
Unfortunate. This horror movie ranked 33rd place on the most recent study with an average heart rate while watching the film at 74.
Oh, I love it when they do that shit.
I know, it's awesome.
Straight up.
And the
I'm
highest
like, do me.
do me.
I want to know.
I'll be like 30.
I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
right?
dead.
Literally.
Dead now.
And the highest spike in heart rate was 89.
Ooh.
It scored a 62 on the scare score, but 50 years ago, it would have been first place.
Okay.
This cult-
Listen, I walk into my doctor's office with higher pulse than that.
yeah, right? That's like so low.
Come on.
Is that
Give
like,
it to me.
bitch, are you breathing?
I just
Like-
went to the doctor 2 days ago, and my pulse, when she put the fucking pulse ox on it, my pulse was like 109.
That's crazy.
Ew, is that high?
Mine's always like that.
So, this cult classic was released on December 26th, 1973, in 25 theaters across the United States.
Only
25?
Yep.
I want to know what it is. Hurry up.
Tell me.
This is The Curse of the Exorcist.
Oh, it's a good one.
Do you remember when they remade this and
I
we went
love
to the
it.
movies? Did you come to the movies with us
I
that
don't
time?
remember.
When we were teenagers and,
No.
and we brought beer into the theater?
Nope, I didn't
Okay.
come with you that time.
Damn. It
Lame.
was a good time.
I'm sure it
I'm
was,
sure.
but you probably were like, fuck Tracy, she's staying at home.
So, the 1970s were the greatest era for the eruption of horror movies. The best horror movie of all time, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was
That was a good one.
released just a year later and would start the slasher franchises.
Oh, I love slasher movies.
Yeah. Anyways, The Exorcist, like Rosemary's Baby, was one of a kind, and many believed it was ahead of its time. There was nothing quite like it, the closest being Rosemary's Baby, but this film caused its own mass hysteria. Along with being one of the most profitable horror movies, this film was a highly anticipated watch. The events in this movie were loosely based on a 1949 exorcism that took place in Cottage City, Maryland. The boy was known as Robbie or Roland Doe and was only 14 years old when the boy's aunt introduced him to an Ouija board. Sounds like my life. LOL.
You
Love
were
it.
way younger than 14.
Yeah.
I was
Right?
gonna say, what?
You were probably
Mom
like,
probably introduced you to
Yeah.
a Ouija board.
you were probably like 3.
I'm like, this shit is so funny. I get. Okay.
We probably did it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The family would turn to a Catholic church for an exorcism after claiming strange behavior. The film also took the 1634 exorcisms into consideration as well. This was when a group of nuns claimed possession after all having the same dream about a priest named Urban Grandier. So,
Okay.
kind of weird. The film is already slightly based around real events that allegedly occurred. Could this have been a gateway to hell?
Little boy, you're going to hell.
Well,
Sorry.
let's
She's
talk.
not.
No, she's not. Let's talk about the movie. A mother moves into a large home with her daughter, Regan, in Georgetown. Over the course of the movie, strange events start to happen with Regan, and she becomes ill. Regan's mother, Chris, reaches out to a priest for help after Regan has become a violent, murdering, crucifix, vagina-stabbing sociopath.
Oh, she did too. Remember that fucking scene?
Yep.
I was like, ow, ow.
I was watching it with my brother, and he'd never seen it before, and I forgot that scene was
Why
there.
did you do that?
And he
I've
was
been
like,
watching that kind of shit with Kaylee since she was 3, and you never questioned it.
Exactly. He was like 10 when I watched it
He's
with him.
fine.
Boys and girls are different.
Oh, that's some sexist shit right there.
Yeah, Janet.
Why is it sexist?
Because what,
I'm
I'm a girl, I
telling
can
you.
handle more.
Yeah.
But you couldn't.
You're more mentally mature.
Well,
than...
duh, but he's fine. He was 10. The rest of the movie continues with the exorcism of this demon, and Regan returns with no recollection of the past events.
And what's the name of the demon? Do you remember?
Oh, God.
Oh, fuck.
It's Pazuzu.
Pazuzu. Yeah.
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
It's Pazuzu.
And I just want to say, same Regan. I have my moments too. Like,
You pee on the carpet as well.
yeah. I also stab myself with a crucifix.
In the vagina. And your head spins
just-
around and you barf.
I just loved the ending when she comes back and she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh my god, iconic." So
And there were sequels. Did you ever watch them?
Yep, all of them.
You did?
Yep, I've
I've
seen them all.
never seen a sequel.
I've
I don't
seen
think
them
I
all.
have either.
What?
Nope.
I don't know. Maybe I have.
I've seen every single one of them.
I wanted to watch the beginning.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Did you watch
Yeah.
it? Oh, I need to watch it.
Okay, I need to too.
But I didn't see the sequel to the original.
I remember watching The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh, that was a good one,
That
too.
one's so
one.
good.
That one was so good.
That's
That
a
one's
good
so
one.
good.
I've seen them all.
So it's a good one.
Anyway,
Um.
this film is cursed.
Yes. So
The
now,
Poltergeist.
now,
Or
no,
no.
we'll get into that one
The
later.
Exorcist.
Okay. Now, one of the weirder elements of this curse would be the director himself, Friedkin. This man was actually insane, and it's a shock that people worked for him. It's also been speculated that he was the cause for this curse. He demanded that Regan's room always be kept at negative 20 degrees.
What a fucking loser.
But for when
in
they
order
breathe,
for the cameras to pick up their breath.
the breath. Yeah.
These people, if you remember the scenes, like they're just wearing regular clothes.
Right.
Like that's crazy.
But it's making the movie good. Like, that's the reason.
Yeah. But it's just like, it just goes back to a lot of movies back then. The sets and the scenes that they wanted to do, they just didn't have like the same technology that we do now. So
How did they make it negative 20 in there?
Great question. I don't know.
Fuck.
Air conditioner or something? I don't fucking know.
That's a real good air conditioner.
Several.
Sometimes
air conditioners.
Several, yeah. Sometimes Friedkin would just shoot guns off into the air to startle the cast.
This kind of shit happens like in a lot of movies though. Like
Yeah.
people like straight up fuck with
Keep
these.
them on edge. Like,
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yep.
Keep them like
keep them scared.
kind of crazy though. Like you're like you get paranoid
Yeah,
on
you
set.
should get paid more than
Yeah.
for that shit.
So these physical extremes he would make the people work in left many people injured. The actors who played Chris and Regan would suffer from back injuries resulting in permanent spine damage, along with one carpenter losing a thumb and a technician losing a toe. Many scenes
Not a toe.
Not a toe.
Not a toe.
Many scenes where the actors were thrown into walls used in the final movie were actual recordings of when their injuries took place. So that scene where Chris is in the bedroom and she flies into the wall, that's when she like got that back injury. So when she's screaming out in pain, like she's actually
in
fucking
pain.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. An extra on set who played a nurse would later be convicted of murder and was also the suspect of gruesome unsolved murders that happened in New York City during the 70s. Weird. Some of the more well-known facts about this case was the random fire during production. The entire set burned in this fire, but Regan's room was completely fine and unharmed. The team also brought out a priest to bless the entire set as a precaution. Interestingly enough, Friedkin asked the priest to perform an actual exorcism, but he refused and blessed the set instead. 2 actors in the movie would also die before it was released. Jack McGrowan, who played Burke, and Valisky Malarios.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen it. I don't remember who that is.
Yeah. They weren't like big people on the actual film.
Okay.
So Jack would die from the flu, and Valisky would die from old age. She was 90 when she was in the movie. So, I
Okay.
mean, yeah. Now, with all of the strange elements of this movie happening, it was no surprise when the mass hysteria exploded after the release, and Warner Bros. Capitalized on the fear. It was free publicity.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
Duh.
Many people reported feeling faint and throwing up in the movie theaters. It's been years, and the weird situations that followed this film are still talked about today. I mean, growing up, I used to pretend to have a demon to piss my sister off, and it worked. But now I'm wondering
My
if
sister did that also.
I did the same thing.
She did.
it's the older women in this family.
Tracy believed it for
I
a
did.
little while.
Lily would get mad, and she would just, like,
No,
fucking
Tracy got
attack
scared,
me.
which is what I wanted.
But now I'm...
For a short period.
Yeah. And then you're like, okay, fuck off. I'm wondering if pretending to have a demon maybe would invite a real one in.
It could.
Probably did.
Probably did.
Are you saying
What
you
do
have
I
a
know?
demon,
I mean,
Kaylee?
yeah, I do have a demon.
I think it's an older sibling thing.
Yeah. So, The Exorcist is definitely cursed.
I agree. So that they remastered that and it came out again when I was a teenager. So it came out when my mom was a teenager.
Yep.
And she was like, "Don't go see that movie. It's possessed. It's a scary movie." And I'm like, "I'm going to go see it." So then I went and saw it with my friends, the remastered version. And I don't know if this was in the original, but do you remember watching it and there was like flashes of some evil face? Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yes, I do.
Was that in the original
No.
one, or they
No.
put that in the
I
second
think that
one?
was in the second one.
Yeah.
Also, I watched Fight Club last night.
Oh my
love.
god, we don't talk about Fight Club.
So, but it also happens in that. Did you
Yeah,
ever notice
yeah,
that?
I did
Yeah.
notice
I've
that.
never
Yeah.
noticed that, and me and John were going, "What the fuck?
Did you
What
see
the
that?
fuck?
Did you
See
see that?
that?
What the fuck?"
No,
Yeah.
that's an excellent movie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Well written.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie. But The Exorcist does the same thing. It does those demonic faces or whatever throughout the film, and it gets more progressed. There's more as the movie progresses, I should say.
All right. Now, it wouldn't be right if we had a curse movie episode and didn't talk about possibly the biggest conspiracy regarding haunted sets and curse movies in Hollywood.
This better be the one I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Poltergeist.
That's right.
Let's do it.
I'm talking about the one and only Poltergeist,
Yeah.
released on June 4th, 1982. To understand this movie, let's just simply break down the title. Poltergeist is basically defined as supernatural beings or ghosts responsible for physical disturbances. This can be loud noises, objects thrown, and maybe a secret portal through your closet.
You never know.
Any cultured kid grew up terrified of closets and TV static, and I think we have this movie to thank for that.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure. Poltergeist activity has been documented around the world for years, and there's actually a specific case Poltergeist is loosely based on. This is the story of the Herman House. On February 3rd, 1958, a man named James Herman received a call from his wife while at work. She told James her and their teenage daughters, Jimmy and Lucy, heard loud popping noises throughout the home. They investigated the noise and found a bunch of bottles throughout the home with no caps. One being
No cap.
no cap.
Ain't no cap on this. What does that mean?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Go lay down, old
stop.
lady.
One being a bottle of opened and spilled holy water.
Not spilled holy water.
Right?
Regular water everywhere all over the...
James was
Sorry.
Yeah. James was skeptical about the entire ordeal and thought someone was pranking his family. He assured them it was fine and to stay calm. However, 5 days later, it happened again, and then the next day. This time, James was home to witness it, and he called the police. While the police were there, the bottles continued popping. The police performed a series of tests to
The
rule...
fucking champagne was still popping.
What's that song?
Girl.
Popping bottles in
Popping
there.
bottles, popping bottles.
What's that song?
I don't know.
Popping bottles in them, something.
Probably.
Like a G6.
In the club.
Oh, I like that song.
Now
I
I'm
did
feeling
just
exactly
so
what it is.
fly
I just
like
listened
a
to that. Yeah, I
G6.
just listened to that the other day.
That's a great song.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure they weren't talking about popping bottles like that,
No,
right?
but like literally while the police were there, it's said that bottles were just like popping throughout the house while they were in there.
How many bottles do they have?
I don't know. I don't
what
know
the fuck
how
is
it
going
keeps
on in
going.
this place?
So, the police performed a series of tests to rule out radio transmitters or electrical disturbances, but the bottles weren't warm. On February 17th, a priest would come to their home to bless it. The story would go wild in the media, and many people would reach out to the family, offering rational ideas on what was causing the popping, and others believed it was a poltergeist.
Excuse me, Susan. I think that your bottles are popping because of this reason.
In the media, it was known as, like, the popper. The demon.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Beautiful. What was interesting was the model of the home. It was suburban and purchased new in 1953, and the Hermans were the only family to ever live there. Dr. J.B. Rhine, director of Duke University's parapsychology laboratory, decided to investigate. He believed the presence of their teenage children attracted the poltergeist activity. He would come to the home with a team.
Was it because they were sexually active?
Probably, who
true.
knows?
That's right.
He would come to the home with a team, interviewing family members and recording any activity. However, it wouldn't be long before all activity completely stopped. There would be about 70 documented reports of unusual activities from February 3rd to March 10th. The Hermans would eventually move away, and years later, their daughter Lucy would appear in a documentary. Another interesting fact about this case is the Amityville Horror House is only about 7 miles away from the Herman house.
They say it's like Indian burial ground
Yeah.
over there.
Of course it is.
I
So,
mean,
fun
of course it is.
Because of course.
because of course.
Don't fuck with them.
No.
I've done told you guys a
Don't
million
fuck
fucking
with
times.
I didn't fucking. All I said was that's what they say.
Leave them
I
to
didn't
rest.
say that.
So, the poltergeist is even more wild than this. Burial grounds, skeletons, portals to the other
Ew,
side.
it's so bad too. Remember when they're swimming in the pool and all them skeletons come up?
We're going to talk about it.
Sick.
Okay, is that okay? Yeah, do go.
I mean, there's a lot more action going on in this film. This film is based around a family in a new suburban home, and suddenly strange things start to occur around the house. Objects moved, thrown, and creepy clown dolls sitting in the corner of the bedroom. You know, typical stuff.
Fuck off with your
You know
clown
that
dolls.
clown is the creepiest
Yeah,
clown
it
of
is.
all. It's even creepier than it. I don't
is.
care what anyone
is.
says. It's creepy.
No, so like when do you guys remember my episode and when I was like, oh, she called and we don't own a life-size clown doll.
Yeah.
That's the clown I think of
Me
when I
too.
think of that story.
And that fucking poltergeist clown that sits in that fucking just sits there and it's like, and I think they play like a laughing sound over it when they play
Yeah.
the movie because I
And-
just watched it.
The actor, I didn't put it in my script, but I didn't put it in my thing, but the actor, who was the little boy who had to like interact with that doll.
Poor
he
baby.
says that the doll choked him at one point.
He probably really believes that
Yeah.
happened too,
So
like Tracy would.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Trass would.
that shit was weird as
My
fuck.
name is not Tracy.
Trass would.
Okay.
Go fuck yourself. Anyway.
It gradually increases to terrifying storms, and Carol, the little girl, talks to
Carol Ann.
Yeah, Carol Ann. The little girl talks to TV static throughout the film, which is creepy as fuck.
Yep.
And is eventually kidnapped, ghost snapped.
I was
by
going to
these
say,
ghosts.
she's ghost napped.
Do you
bro.
even remember
And-
the static on a TV like that?
Yes. Carol Ann would be ghost snapped, and they would have to bring in professional paranormal investigators to handle the situation.
Absolutely. What's her name? What's the girl's name?
She's like the old lady with the white hair. I love
she's
her.
like she was also in that other witch movie. Remember the witch movie we used to watch? And it's on the fucking
Which one?
TikTok all the time where they're
On the TikTok. Did
where
you
that
just,
girl
Mom?
raps.
Oh my God,
And she's
Mom.
like, you know what I'm talking about? The girl that raps.
No.
Remember
I
the
don't
witch
watch
movie?
TikTok.
Oh my God, what's the witch movie, you guys?
Teen Witch?
Yeah,
Oh,
that one.
Sabrina.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that's what it is. Is that it?
Zelda Rubinstein?
Yeah.
Zelda Rubinstein.
Yes, that's
Okay.
her.
Let's
a queen.
see. Let's
What
see
a
what.
queen.
Let's see what she's been in. Poltergeist 2, 3, Teen Witch.
Yep,
She was in
okay.
Teen Witch.
So she's in
Oh,
that
yeah.
same movie.
And she's like, okay.
She
yep.
plays like basically the exact same person
Teen Witch
that
was
she
the
plays
shit.
in Poltergeist.
Yep.
She's like, you better not do that. You're
Teen
gonna
Witch
get in
was
trouble.
the shit. I love Teen Witch.
So the Poltergeist curse is very eerie. In total, 4 actors would die during and after the release of the film in shocking ways.
Really? I guess I didn't know that.
You don't know this?
I guess I didn't.
Tell her
Oh,
about
girl.
it and see if she doesn't think this. So a lot of movies claim to be cursed. I really think that this
Poltergeist
one is
Indian
truly
burial
is.
grounds, bro. Don't fuck with them.
So Dominique Dunn, who played the older sister Dana,
The really pretty older sister.
Yeah.
would tragically be the first to pass in 1982.
In a bad
So
way.
like right
Yeah, because
after the film. Dominique separated from her partner at the time, John Sweeney. That same November, he showed up at her house begging for her to take him back. Dominique refused, and he would strangle her until she was unconscious, leaving her to die in her driveway. Sweeney only served 3 years and 7
what the
months for
fuck
this
is
murder.
wrong with that shit?
And because she was like an actress, and she was the daughter of the reporter, what's his name?
I don't know.
Something done. If you guys have watched the new documentary series on Netflix about the Menendez brother,
I did.
I haven't watched it yet, but I
can't
have
remember
heard.
anything.
I won't spoil it, but they have the reporter, the dad of Dominique Dunn on there, who was like very much against the Menendez brother because of what happened to his daughter
Yeah.
throughout the film.
The dad?
The dad.
Okay.
The dad throughout the case was very much like writing
Can
the,
you imagine having your baby killed that
and
way?
then he only serves 3 years.
Yeah.
So that guy, that reporter, obviously wanted justice. Yeah. But what happened to Dominique Dunn was completely fucked up.
Fucking terrifying.
And John Sweeney
traumatizing.
deserved the fucking death penalty, and I think somebody should have choked him out.
I mean, an eye for an eye, bitch.
Yep. So next, we're gonna talk about Heather O'Rourke. She played the youngest daughter, Carol Ann. She was just 6 years old in the first film and would captivate audiences with her role and performance. In 1987, she would be misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease. The following year, she would become very sick again, which they attributed to the flu. One day later, she collapsed and went into cardiac arrest. She would be airlifted to the local children's hospital, where she died during an operation to correct bowel obstruction. It was later believed she was suffering from congenital intestinal abnormalities. Poltergeist 3 would be released just 4 months after her death. So, obviously, that death was, like, really sad. She's only 12 years old. In 1983, Kane from the second Poltergeist, played by Julian Beck, would be diagnosed with stomach cancer and would pass away just after finishing the second movie, like right away. That same film with actor Will Sampson, who played Taylor in the film, would die in 1987 from undergoing a heart and lung transplant.
Yikes.
What the fuck's going on there?
Right? The tragic deaths surrounding this movie weren't the only things that made people believe this movie was cursed. The set had some very creepy legends that are still talked about today. Jo Beth Williams, who played the mom, Diane, in the first 2 films, has claimed that Spielberg insisted on using real human skeletons during the disturbing pool scene. Jo Beth has claimed they didn't inform her of this decision until after those scenes were shot and final.
That's the kind of shit that they do in Hollywood, though. Like, they literally fuck people up.
Because it was cheaper to use real skeletons.
What?
Yeah.
And it has more of a fucking effect.
And a lot of movies during that time and before used real skeletons because
How
it was
is
cheaper.
Because people donate their shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
To what? Hollywood?
I guess it was cheaper because it was like they looked real. Another interesting fact is Will Sampson performed an authentic exorcism after shooting Wrapped Up one night. So that's the same guy who died in the second movie after for the heart and lung transplant. So while he was on like filming for that second movie, he went and performed a real exorcism for someone.
And then he died?
Later on. Yeah. Weird. Kind of an interesting way to end this segment.
Okay.
The Poltergeist is a well-known cursed movie, and I am going to assume that, yeah, it's cursed.
I agree with that one.
I would agree.
Yeah. This next film was one that has quite the history, and many speculators can't really come up with answers to determine why certain events occurred the way they did. We'll be talking about the classic film released on June 25th, 1976. This is the disturbing curse of The Omen.
Oh, I love this one.
I was wondering if you were going to talk
There's
about
lots of these.
This
movies.
one is like, what the fuck? So, this movie is based around a family who adopts a child named Damien. There's your first mistake.
Dr. Satan! Dr. Satan!
Toast!
Run, rabbit! Run, rabbit, run!
That's right.
For real. Throughout the film, we see Damien do a bunch of wild shit, and it's uncovered that he is, in fact, the Antichrist.
Well, no shit. He's a
He's
little fucking bastard.
His name's
motherfucker.
fucking-
I'd fucking kick his ass if he was my kid.
I'm
sure
sorry.
would, too.
I don't trust nobody named
I'm probably
Damien.
the mother of him already.
You probably are.
For real. For real.
Oh my
For real,
God.
though.
So this film grossed over $60 million, and it would become one of the highest grossing films of 1976.
I was going to say, what year? Yeah.
So the Omen curse dates back to 1975, when lead actor of the film, Gregory Peck, was flying to London and lightning struck his plane.
Oh.
This doesn't seem that crazy as it's happened before, but the timeline continues. Executive producer of the film, Mace Newfield's plane would also be struck by lightning just a couple of weeks later while on a trip to Los Angeles. Then, the writer of the film, David Seltzer's plane, would also be struck by lightning, but it doesn't end here. The producer, Harvey Bernard, was filming in Rome when lightning almost struck him on set.
On
set?
On set. He was
Ew.
standing there filming.
He probably deserved
Boom.
it.
Yeah, right? Coincidence? I think not.
For real.
Not to mention, there's an even more eerie story involving a private jet that lead actor Gregory Peck was supposed to travel on to set. However, the action-filled scene was delayed, and they didn't end up booking the flight for Peck. The entire crew would be in shock when they turned the news on the next day. The same jet they were going to book for Peck had hit a flock of birds and crashed, which ultimately killed everyone on board. This wasn't even the craziest part of the story. As the plane came down, it crashed into a car on the road, killing everyone in the car too. The people in the car were the wife and 2 children of the plane's pilot.
What?
What the fuck?
Yeah. What the fuck? But what are the chances that you crash your plane and you land into your wife and children
kids?
driving to, like, the store? What the fuck?
It's not. It's not a thing.
It's also said that Mace Newfield went to a restaurant to eat, but there were no seats left. This would be for the
That
best.
was probably because of the curse.
Yeah. This would be for the best, as the restaurant would be bombed just seconds
Oh,
later.
well, fair.
Oh my God. Good luck to that dude.
And also, the day after filming, Richard Donner was staying at a hotel that would also later be bombed.
Well,
We're not done, friends. So not only were people involved in this curse, but the animals on set were too. The Rottweilers used to portray the hellhounds in the film were reported to turn and attack their trainers repeatedly throughout the filming process.
Ew.
One severely injured stuntman, Terry Walsh. A popular
fuck
scene...
you, Terry.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Terry.
A popular scene in the movie where the family is driving through a safari park didn't have scripted fear. Those reactions were raw and real. The baboons used in the scene were actually viciously attacking the actors. So,
Oh, that's cute.
yeah, those performances were real-life terrified reactions.
In The Omen?
Yeah. A day after filming that scene...
Ew. I'm going to have to watch it again now.
Yeah. A day after filming that scene, a local zookeeper at that safari would be mauled to death.
Oh my God.
Some sources say by the baboons, others say by a lion. Who knows? What we do know is don't
was
fuck
the
with
baboons,
baboons.
wasn't it?
Just don't fuck with them.
They're savage as
They
fuck,
are
I
savage.
hear. No, I don't know, but I mean.
I mean, yeah. It doesn't end here.
They'll stick their finger right up your ass.
They will. They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
They'll stick their finger
right up your yeah.
right up your ass,
They
Carter.
will. They don't
why I
even
like
care.
it.
Right up your
Love him.
You're crazy. I love you.
Right up your ass. Oh my god.
The
I
most.
don't mean that.
He's lying.
Yeah.
I mean it.
He do
No,
mean that.
That was good airtime.
So, the most tragic story associated with this curse is actually jaw dropping. Liz Moore was an assistant to John Richardson, the special effects designer of the film. The two of them were driving through the Netherlands when they were involved in a terrible car accident. What's most concerning about this accident? The fact that Richardson left with a few bumps and bruises, but Liz Moore was decapitated by a tire that smashed through the car.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. She was considerably more injured.
Yes. So, funny. Okay, here we go.
I mean, this isn't funny.
No,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
listen. The
I need to get a grip.
The incident happened on Friday the 13th
Of course it did.
in August 1976. The accident also happened next to a road sign that said 66.6 kilometers away from the
so
town
666.
of Oman.
Ew.
This was terrible enough, but it mirrors a horrific scene in the movie. In this scene, a photographer in the film would be decapitated by a sheet of glass that fell off of a construction vehicle while he was driving. In 2005, while filming a documentary about the curse of this movie, producer Alan Tyler claimed that two different camera crews in two completely different locations had the same technical difficulties with footage they filmed.
Oh my god.
Later on, the remake of the film in 2006 also had two separate incidents. Actor Pete Postlewaite's brother died unexpectedly after being dealt 3 sixes in a game of poker. The second
Ew.
incident happened when actor Lib Schreiber finds the devil's birthmark on Damien. This entire scene would become destroyed with no explanation or reasoning while being processed. So, that was a lot.
Fuck around and find out.
The Omen has some shady shit going on, and I didn't even know all of the details regarding the real-life curse of this horror. I didn't even know all of the details regarding the real-life curse of this horror classic until doing research for this episode. I'm going to say, out of all of the movies, this one I feel is definitely cursed. I'm not fucking around with this shit.
She ain't fucking around with this shit.
I don't know. I feel like the stories with this one, they're just too weird. All of the lightning strikes and the decapitation and I don't know. It's just all weird shit. So,
That's weird.
yeah. Now I'm going to shift gears a little bit and talk about a movie that's been heavily investigated and pulled apart throughout the last few years. This isn't a horror movie. Oh no. We're going to go way back with this film released on August 25th, 1939. This is the alleged curse of the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, bet.
So, The Wizard of Oz is a classic and was a stepping stone for cinematography. This movie follows the iconic Dorothy, played by the one and only Judy Garland, and her sweet pup Toto, through the magical land of Oz. The soundtrack is one of a kind with songs like Over the Rainbow and
Somewhere
Over the rainbow.
and Ding Dong the Witch is Dead, making it a musical masterpiece. The movie follows the Yellow Brick Road, and audiences are introduced to fun characters like Tin Man, Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion. Dorothy is trying to earn the help of the wizard through capturing the broom that belonged to the Wicked Witch of the West. If you haven't seen Wizard of Oz, I really don't know what to say to you.
For real.
We don't want to be your friend.
We don't want to be your friend.
We don't want to be your friend. Now, the Wizard of Oz curse is one deemed by many to be attributed to the lack of labor laws, no unions.
Whoa. Hold up. I've just been informed by some
Outside sources.
outside sources that Carter has never seen
That's wild.
The Wizard of Oz.
So we're not friends?
Are you kidding?
No, I'm being for real.
You've never fucking seen The Wizard of
So
Oz.
your boyfriend needs to
It
get
sounds
spanked.
boring as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Because
This is a classic film.
Just because it's a classic doesn't make it good. I mean,
The wonderful thing about it is I'm the only one. I'm the only
I mean seriously, just because
She's singing
it's
Pooh Bear
a
shit,
classic doesn't mean it's good.
Oh my fucking
Exactly.
god.
He wants
Are
to
you
get hit.
crazy?
Hey, leave that
wants
shit
to
in
get
too,
hit.
because people are gonna agree with that.
He's
Just because it's
never-
classic doesn't mean it's good.
No, You've never
No.
seen The Wizard
That's
of
lies.
Oz.
No.
Kaylee.
Kaylee. Culture this man.
I don't know what to do.
Kaylee.
After this night of recording, I hope you'll take him home and culture him
Yeah.
and show him.
Because he's an uncultured swine at
Because
this
why
point.
the fuck haven't you ever seen The Wizard of Oz?
What is wrong with you?
Because I don't want to watch it. Sounds stupid. A wizard?
It's The Wizard of Oz. This was like a breakthrough in movies.
No.
It was one of the first colored films.
Yes.
Doesn't make it special.
Yeah,
It
it does.
definitely does.
Absolutely, it
Definitely
does.
That doesn't make it a good
This
movie.
brought people's imaginations, as you know.
You ever seen Cat in the
To
Hat in real
life.
life? That is.
You can thank
The
Wizard
Cat
of
in the
Oz for
Hat.
that.
Carter, you cannot even try.
Carter, the Cat in the Hat is a punk ass bitch
You're
compared to
real.
fucking the Wizard
You
of
are
Oz.
Yeah.
the Wizard of
You
Oz.
are not a punk ass bitch. Damn it.
You are not the father. All right, let's get into this.
Yeah, carry it on.
Now, the Wizard of Oz curse
Carry it on.
is one deemed by many to be attributed to the lack of labor laws, no unions, and stunts actions never being done before on set. This may be true, but knowing the history of this film, it makes it much more unsettling when you watch it. When this film was released, it was a success, but it grew in popularity through the 1950s and 60s. In 1989, the film would be selected by the Library of Congress as one of the first 25 films for preservation in the United States National Film Registry. It was due to being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Also, this is the most seen film in history, and it's played on American TVs every Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
It is.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
was
weird
kind of a
time.
weird thing, but apparently a lot of people watch it on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Not me.
So, overall, the film still does great in American culture today. However, this doesn't take away from the disturbing events that occurred on set. Buddy Ebsen was the original actor casted to play Tin Man. However, his dreams of walking the yellow brick road would soon come crashing down after the makeup used to create the famous look essentially poisoned him.
Yep.
Buddy started experiencing symptoms like body aches, muscle cramps, and shortness of breath. After trying to fight through his pain, he couldn't do it anymore and became so ill he dropped out of filming and was hospitalized. During this issue, MGM Studio ignored his claims of illness, and it wasn't until he was ordered back to set that an angry nurse would stand up for him, making the studio take his health seriously. It would later be revealed that the makeup used was pure aluminum dust.
Oh my god, poison.
After this, the studio would replace Buddy with actor Jack Haley. This time, they decided to have makeup artists mix the aluminum dust in a paste instead of directly applying it to the skin. However, this didn't work well either, and Jack would develop a serious infection in his right eye
Well, no shit. Fucking
Yeah.
idiots.
that he needed medical treatment for. Thankfully, it was treatable, and he continued to work as Tin Man. Margaret Hamilton would also endure serious pain while on set. Margaret played the Wicked Witch of the West. Her first iconic scene shows her exiting Munchkinland, and it's like the scene where it's like, ha 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 ha, and a bunch of smoke and shit is going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she actually suffered from a 2nd-degree burn on her face and a 3rd-degree burn to her hand while filming that scene.
Oh my god.
The scene used for that, the fire used for that scene caught onto her, and she would be hospitalized for 6 weeks. It's said that the makeup...
It's not funny, but
No,
come
it's
on.
crazy. It's said that the makeup artist ran to her quickly to wipe off her copper makeup so it wouldn't seep into her wounds and become toxic. Margaret would go on to tell the studio she wouldn't sue because she knew how the industry worked, but she did not want to film with fireworks or fire again. Her first day returning, they wanted her to film with fireworks.
Oh my god.
No, go fuck yourself.
No.
The Surrender Dorothy scene would involve her sitting on a broomstick with
She
a
did
firework pouring out the back. Margaret refused to film the scene, so they got a stunt double on set, Betty Danko. While filming the scene, the pipe on the broom exploded on the 3rd take and caught on fire. Betty was severely burned and injured her leg from this.
Thank God that lady was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that.
No.
No.
What a smart lady.
Possibly one of the saddest backgrounds would be that of Judy Garland, who would grow up and mention in many interviews how this movie was sort of the catalyst for many issues in her life: depression, addiction, just a spiral that happens to many young actors in Hollywood. Judy Garland was only 16 years old while filming this film, but that didn't impact the way people treated her on set. A famous incident reported from behind the scenes was the shooting of Dorothy slapping the lion and making him cry. It's said that Judy couldn't contain her laughter while filming this scene, and some of those giggles even made it to the final cut. However, the director was not impressed and walked right up to Judy, slapped her across the face, and told her to stop wasting the crew's time and get the scene right. While this was already disturbing, the studio executives severely fucked Judy's confidence and mental health. They constantly told her she was overweight and would restrict her diet to cigarettes and coffee. Judy would later claim... Well, I mean, that was kind of like the diet of many people then. But
It's a mother's diet.
yeah.
Yeah. My mother's diet.
Right? Judy would later claim that they also gave her uppers and sleeping pills to keep up with the demanding schedule of show business. During an interview where many speculate Judy was intoxicated, she also claimed that the Munchkins on set sexually assaulted her multiple times with no consequences. She would later also claim that she was groped by the co-founder of MGM, Louis B. Meyer.
I don't doubt it
Yeah.
at all.
I don't either.
Unfortunately.
No, yeah. Judy would become a household name from her role in this film, but what she endured led her down a life of addiction and many suicidal attempts until ultimately passing from an accidental overdose on June 22nd, 1969 at just 47 years old.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I always have loved Judy Garland, but her story
too.
is sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The snow used in the scene where Dorothy and the other characters fall asleep was actually made from toxic mineral asbestos.
Of course it was.
You know, cancer. An urban legend involving the film was that a Munchkin actor actually took his life on set, and you can see him hanging in the background on a tree.
We've all heard it.
During
We all know
the-
it.
Do you
Yeah.
know? Have you seen it? I've showed you a lot of times.
I've seen
but-
it. I remember when I looked at it, I talk about it here. He's hanging from the scene during the "we're off to see the wizard" scene. Now, growing up, I remember seeing this and being like, yeah, that's a dead person. However, the studio claims that the figure is a shadow of a crane used to make the forest look more realistic.
Whatever.
What?
Not to
Liars.
Is that
mention,
what they say?
yeah,
They're fucking liars.
not to mention the re-release of the film in 1989 cleaned up this footage, which is pretty interesting considering it was just a crane. I couldn't find information on the Munchkin today, but I remember when I was younger and I was like looking up videos on it, people were speculating that the Munchkin killed himself because he like did something to Judy or something, which it's all speculation. I mean, nothing's like true,
yeah.
but I don't know, kind of interesting.
Very, very interesting.
So yeah, I'm not buying it. Many people would claim that if there was a dead person on scene, the cast would have done something, but would they?
Probably.
I don't know.
No.
If during filming?
No.
I don't know.
Right.
And
No.
especially at the time,
Yeah, I was
No.
just gonna say for the time, you know, people in Hollywood deal with a lot of shit to be famous, to be whatever the fuck it is that they
I don't
think.
know because I'm not in Hollywood.
Whatever the fuck it is that they think they're going to gain at the end of it, they deal with a lot of shit. And I've seen documentary after documentary of
Yeah.
people just continuously dealing with shit. And that's definitely
one
something
of
that they would do.
instances.
I mean, the price of fame, right?
I mean, the whole cast just stood there while the director slapped Judy across the face.
Right.
Like, nobody's gonna go and do anything while they're filming that scene.
Not to the director.
No.
Not saying anything to the director. No,
No.
they're going to be like, well, he says it's cool, so I'm gonna
We're
go
just
with
gonna
it."
assume it's a crane.
Right.
So, yeah, it's interesting and makes the history behind the making of Wizard of Oz just a little more creepy and unsettling when you watch the film now.
For real.
Well, what did you guys think? Are you guys creeped out? Do you feel weird when you watch movies and
Yeah.
you know they have a creepy background?
Most movies have some sort of something,
Yeah.
you know?
Sometimes I do, and other times it makes me want to watch them more. because I'm kind of creepy like that.
Yeah.
There's so many stories throughout Hollywood claiming curses, hauntings, and urban legends, all connected to some of our favorite movies. I just couldn't fit them all into one episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and let me know if there's any twisted facts I might have left out. We are a bi-weekly podcast, episodes dropping every other Thursday, so I hope you guys are keeping up and getting spooked. We're going to educate and creep all of you out while sipping on our favorite delicious poisons. You can follow...
Don't say that fucking word ever again in my presence.
Delicious!
She hates delicious. I don't understand it myself.
Disgusting.
You can follow our website directly at poisonteaparty.com to listen to new episodes and updates. We're also available on other platforms like Spotify and YouTube. You can also go and follow us on Facebook and Instagram to get updates and sneak peeks on new episodes. If there's anything you'd like us to talk about in the future episodes, you can email us directly at thepoisonteaparty@gmail.com. If you want to help out the pod and keep this thing up and running, you can go support our Patreon. This will include exclusive member-only special content, and it's a great way to help us out as well. I just want to thank you all again for listening, but maybe I should have warned you to slow down on all that sipping because, well, you've been poisoned.